It's the very first actual paid league. It's probably one of the most important leagues of the year. It is the Insight Fantasy Sports Creators Championship, where we've got a bunch of Insight creators from multiple sports that think they know ball. And we're going to be going live. We're going to be going through the whole draft from start to end. It is a 12-team, 9-category league with plenty on the line. Let's get into it. Yes, hello, welcome back to the Ball Logic Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Brano. Horse is with me. We're waiting on Matrix. He isn't far away, Horse. It's the coveted Creators Championship for Insight Fantasy Sports, and I tell you what, there's going to be a bit of sweat in the lobby over the next 90 minutes.
Yeah, there's lots, isn't there? And the text messages back and forth. I know Deadly rates himself as a ball knowledge kind of expert, but to be fair, he lives under his own rock and believes everything that comes out of his own mouth. So I can't wait for him to finish 11th. But there are some quite knowledgeable people in this Insight Creators Championship when you're talking Carl, the owner of perhaps one of the biggest NBA leagues in Australia, Adam King from Old Man Squad, internationally known, and quite a few others that are pretty well known in the fantasy sports world.
Yeah, it's going to be a very competitive league, this one. A lot of guys that know what they're talking about. They create content on NBA specifically, or they live in the NBA world and create content for Insight in other sports. So there's plenty up for grabs here. We're going to get a perpetual trophy done as well, which is going to be kind of cool. So we'll get a trophy that we can get done up every year for the winner. We'll also have one spot available every single year, and that'll be going to the winner of our A-League, $100 head-to-head 12-team 9-cat league. Whoever wins that every single year will get that final spot into the Creator Cup, or the League of Insight, we'll call it, to take us on every year. So yeah, a bit of extra incentive, not just cash, but to win our best comp to take us on, which is going to be fun. We've got about 2.5 minutes left until the draft actually starts. Matty will jump in when he's free of children. But good to see some people on at the moment. Whisperer's in the chat as well. I'm sure everybody knows Whisperer by now. Yep, he's taking us on. What's he? He's drafting at number 5 tonight. We'll bring up the screen just so that everybody can see it. For anybody listening on audio after the fact, come over, check it out on YouTube if you want a more visual representation of how this draft is going to go. So we'll go through the draft. Kingy's at 1. He hasn't taken Jokic, and it's not really a pick that Kingy would take because it means that he can't punt straight out of the gate. So interesting to see how he goes on this. We've got Deadly at 2, Squiddy at 3, Matrix is drafting from 4, Josh Whisperer at 5, and then you're at 6, mate. So you get one ahead of me, and then I might be able to snipe you on the way back, hopefully. We've got Carl at 7. I'm drafting from 8 tonight. We've got Secco from the NFL show. He is at 9. Mally is at 10, and very upset we have to draft on Yahoo. So we just thought we'd take the advantage away from him there and make him feel a little bit uncomfortable tonight. So he's drafting at 10. Who's number 11? This is a good name.
Zion's paternity test.
Oh, it's Brody. It's Flanders. Okay, yeah. Great. Love that. And then we've got Corey, who is one of our long-term followers. He gets that final spot this year as we get things going. So, really looking forward to this draft. It's going to be a banger, Horse. I know you don't want to give too much away, mate, but what's the strategy?
Oh, for me, because you see the people in the comments at the moment watching us live to try and get a bit of an idea, but I'm going Moussa Diabate with my first pick. Fairly sure he'll still be there at 6. But no, I think, especially when you're drafting in the middle, you've got to be open to going multiple ways with your build. So whether it is, we know that Shea, Wemby, Luka, Jokic, they're your top 4 fairly consistently. Then you've got Giannis usually goes at 5. And then you've got the likes of Davis, Cunningham, these sorts of players that are the next rung down. So for me, if I'm going with Davis, I'm going a defensive type build. If I'm going with Cunningham, then am I punting turnovers and field goal percentage? Or, it's just something you got to work with on the fly.
Yeah, good to see Carl in the chat here. I'm sure everyone else is in the draft. We'll also be watching the live as we kick things off here with the number 1 pick. King is on the clock now, and Kingy also asks, is Embiid still a top 5 player? I don't know, mate. You can take him at 1 and find out if you like. That's up to you. Josh has had 3 drafts so far and 3 shares of Embiid. I'm scared tonight will be 4. Hey, you're either an Embiid guy or you're not. As we get the draft underway, talk us through your thoughts on Wemby at 1 horse, because that is much more of a Kingy pick.
It's 100% a Kingy pick. I was just expecting Kingy to take Jokic because he's been the undisputed number one. But this to me says Kingy's looking to punt straight off the bat.
Well, look, I mean, you can. And that's the beauty of it. You can lean into maybe a field goal percentage punt. You can lean into, I mean, he shoots the 3 ball so well. He's going to get points. He obviously rebounds and blocks are pretty much locked up when you've got Wemby with your first pick. Mm-hmm. You can punt assists and turnovers. So, like, Kingy's already kind of straight out of the gate with a 3 punt, potentially a 3 punt build, which I know he loves to play fantasy basketball that way. He loves to punt categories. So, I'm not overly surprised that he took Wemby at 1, to be completely honest. Jokic is like a no punt start, and that would have made him uncomfortable, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right. Are you surprised at all that I know Jokic has gone to deadly at 2, but that was an auto pick, wasn't it?
I wouldn't have thought so, unless he's at work. But anyway,
I don't think he's at work. But
is he? There we go.
Yeah,
that's all right. We'll see what's happening in the chat a little bit later if anyone ends up auto drafting. Skitty goes at he gets Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 3, which is pretty much where he's been going the whole time. Yep. Welcome, Matrix. We saw Wemby go. Oh, bye.
Welcome back.
There we go. He's back. Matty, we saw Wemby go at 1 to Kingy. Obviously, very punt strategy player. Are you surprised with Wemby at 1?
No, not really. Especially when it comes to Kingy. We know how he plays, and yes,
you're on the clock,
leaning
by the
away
way.
from Jokic. Yeah, I know. I've got it in queue,
cool.
so I will be taking Luka Doncic. So, nothing too exciting. I would have taken Luka before Shai, so yeah, I'm pretty cool with that.
Yeah, nice. You going to lean into any specific punt with Luka, or are you just going to see what falls to you?
Oh, look, I think it'll be punt, free throw, punt, free throw, punt, turnovers. That's usually the way I go when I draft Luka. This is the first time I've drafted Luka this year, which is really nice. Obviously, the LeBron injury helps to start the season, and then just hopefully roll forward from there with him having the keys to LA, the real LA team. So,
Yep, absolutely. We see you've taken Luka, then we've seen Josh take Giannis at 5, a very punt-heavy strategy as well into horse. You've taken Anthony Davis, and now Carl's on the clock. Talk us through you said you're going pretty heavy in defense, horse. Talk to us about where your head's at coming back around.
Yeah, so now that I've got Anthony Davis, I'll be looking to solidify rebounds, steals, blocks, and especially try and lock up some defensive stats early. So whether it is that I get an Amen Thompson or someone who's pretty good defensively on the way back, like I know that you're picking before me, but it could be Thompson, it could be Mobley, just someone with some defensive upside that can bring some statistical, I guess, greatness to my squad, because we know that Horse is $1 to win this. But yeah, I'll be looking to go defensive pretty early on and locking up those stocks.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense as we recap things. I took Trey at 8, so I'm leaning into a pretty specific punt as well. We'll talk about that soon. Karl Anthony Towns goes at 9. Anthony Edwards falls all the way to Mally at 10. And Edwards is a bit of a tricky one as well, because it's kind of like he's elite at 3, he's elite at points, but there's a lot of other guys around this realm that are also great in that category and can also get the assists that maybe he's lacking. Matty, would you be going and looking at a Trey, Booker, Harden kind of type ahead of Anthony Edwards, or do you think he slid there a bit?
I think he's slid, but that's because that's where he's been going, and all the other drafts are in at that sort of 6 range. But I have Davis, Trey Young, Devin Booker, and Cade. I have all those guys above Anthony Edwards, so I'm cool with where he's gone. And I'm not really surprised, knowing Mally, him taking Anthony Edwards over Devin Booker. Devin Booker is a little bit risky, whereas Anthony Edwards, like, to be fair, never really misses any games. He is a relatively safe pick, and I think you're going to get, honestly, nearly the scoring champion out of Anthony Edwards again this year. I just find he doesn't do much else of that rebounds and assists, which is where I struggle with Anthony Edwards. Whereas I think there's maybe some upside in Devin Booker and Trey Young with the way that their teams have changed. So yeah.
Yeah, that was my thinking behind the Trey pick. I think I was just, you can lock up assists pretty early on. I think you go early or you don't go at all with assists with Trey. Obviously, he's a great scorer as well. And I think that with the Atlanta being better and being likely quite competitive in the East this year, I think obviously that's going to fall on Trey a fair bit. He's got some better pieces around him as well, in Porzingis specifically. So, being able to space the floor, Porzingis is a big advantage for Trey getting to the rim too. So hopefully his field goal percentage comes up a little bit off the back of that. Let's recap some picks, boys. We had Devin Booker go there at the 11, James Harden into Amen Thompson on the turn there for Corey. So Amen Thompson and Harden's an interesting little combination there. What are your thoughts on Amen going at 13, Horse?
Hurts a little bit because that's the type of play that I'd like to have within my build. So I guess this is why Matrix has been very big on it for a long time, and being able to pivot when you inevitably get sniped in your drafts, you need to know, or you need to have that backup plan that if player A or player B goes, and you've got to get player C in to, make your build work. So.
Yeah, that's right. And Amen Thompson, obviously not being a big scorer, usually he's a punt points kind of guy. His free throw's quite poor. Harden's is good. Maybe this is a really nice little punt points build if we think Harden's going to take a backward step, Matrix. But yeah, we'll quickly move on. Tyrese Maxey went at the 14. Sabonis at 15 to pair with Edwards for Mally. Secco went with Kevin Durant and Karl Anthony Towns to kick things off. I took Steph Curry to pair with Trae Young, so it's very clear in the direction that I'm trying to go. I'm going punt field goal percentage, punt rebounds, punt blocks, and punt turnovers. So it's going to be a very aggressive 4-punt draft for me. I'm interested to see, because I usually don't punt that aggressively, so this one I'll lean in and I'll see how we go. As horses on the clock, Matty, where's your thoughts at now, seeing the players that have gone off the board to pair with Luka coming up?
Yeah, look, I am pretty open as to where I go. Look, again, I am looking at punting that free throw percentage and punting those turnovers, so I'm not too worried about where I go there. Okay, that's perfect. I was just waiting for Horse to make his pick. Look, I could go a couple ways, and I think it's probably Şengün or Jalen Johnson for me. I'm going to be pretty happy either way with what Josh picks here. But yeah, look, happy with a Şengün. I think we see the uptick. I think we see him move into that sort of assist guy. I think the offense is going to run through him. And then yeah, I'm really cool with Jalen Johnson as well. I've been picking him in quite a few drafts, but yeah, look, I think I'm going to go Şengün, and that's actually the first time I've got Şengün this year. I originally thought it was a little bit early, but what I saw in the drafts, in the preseason games this year was the offense running through him, and that's just a guy I want, especially at center. So
yeah, he's definitely one I probably feel like I got wrong through the preseason. I didn't really think that they were going to be going so heavily through him specifically. But it looks like the assists are going to be even higher, if that's even possible this year. He's looked really good there. We'll recap some picks there. We went Evan Mobley to Carl to pair with Cade Cunningham. You took Derek White, Horse. We'll come back to you just before we recap the rest of these picks. Jaren Jackson Jr. went to Josh. So blocks are being locked up nice and early there from him with Giannis and Jaren Jackson. Alperen Şengün, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels rounds out the second round. Talk to us about your pick with Derek White to pair with Anthony Davis, mate.
So it might be a little bit of a reach, but I don't think White makes it back to me with the way that I see our draft working. So Derek White, he's going to get a big bump in usage this year. And for me, he's probably the pick of the fantasy players at Boston this year. We saw in the preseason, the offense is going to run through him. He's probably the best alongside, I guess, Dyson Daniels when you're talking defensive guards in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And for me, I needed to lock up some stocks pretty early on in the piece. So when we're talking blocks, out of position blocks, especially from that point guard spot, Derek White is the best in the league at that.
Yeah, and obviously there's a pretty big bump for Derek White, you'd naturally assume, this year. I know it's been well publicised. We're higher on him than we are on Jaylen Brown. As we see LaMelo go straight out of my queue, he would have been... I would have gone triple guard there at the start with LaMelo, I reckon, if he fell to me. So I like LaMelo in the third, Matty. Would you go him in the second, or are we looking at the third round as a safe pick for LaMelo, considering the injury history?
Oh, there's never a safe pick when it comes to LaMelo, but I genuinely think that he fell to me. Honestly, I was sitting here, I clicked Josh Giddey and LaMelo Ball about 4 times each in that last 10 seconds. I probably would have taken Scotty Barnes before, just because I don't really like Scotty Barnes at the moment, but in a punt field goal percentage, punt turnovers build, that's completely fine because we know he gets the assists and rebounds, and it takes all those many negatives of Scotty Barnes out. But yeah, LaMelo and Josh Giddey could have flipped a coin, to be completely honest. But as we have a look in the chat, you borderline bitching that you didn't get LaMelo, and Corey Blackledge in the chat saying that he didn't get him. I'm pretty glad that I sniped a few guys. I can't wait for him to play 6 games this season and me to finish 10th. So look forward to it.
As a big Charlotte Hornets fan, it's inevitably going to happen.
Dear. But he's a high risk, high reward guy. He wins you a league if he stays healthy. It's just a big if. That's all. Dyson Daniels to Kingy on the turn to pair with Victor Wembanyama, so he's definitely going quite defensive. He's locked up blocks then on the turn with Chet Holmgren at 25. And whilst you probably look at Chet and go, yeah, maybe that's a bit early, that's actually a really nice pick for the build that he's trying to make. He's locked up steals, he's locked up blocks, he's probably going to lock up boards with those two as well. So. We can see which direction he's going there with Wemby, Dyson Daniels, Chet Holmgren build. I wouldn't want to come up against him in a league. We are in this league. That's going to be a challenge. Let's recap the third round so far. We've got Jaylen Brown going at 26, which is a bit early, Deadly. So let's... And I know, Horse, you'd love to rip into him for that. So here's your floor.
Are we talking Jaylen Brown, are we?
Yep.
Shithouse. Wouldn't even pick him at 144. Deadly, shithouse, mate.
No,
you can tell that you've watched no ball, you got no ball knowledge. Sort yourself out, mate.
Yeah, 144 is a bit wild, but you do you.
No, look, I'd pick Brown in the 40s. I'd be okay with picking him in the 4th round. But without Tatum, I actually think he's going to be worse when we're talking percentages-wise. He's going to force the ball a little bit more. And, yeah, for me, I think Derek White is the one that gets the big bump this year at Boston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed with you. Scotty Barnes goes to Skitty before LaMelo obviously went to you, Matty. Then we had Jalen Brunson go to Josh at around the 30 mark. I think we are now, 25. Yeah, we're at 30. Jalen Williams goes to Carl. I took Trey Murphy at the 3-8. Then we go Pascal Siakam, Paolo Banchero, Jamal Murray, and Bam Adebayo to round out the third round. We see... Flanders is going exactly the same build as me by the looks of things, and I swear he does this on purpose to piss me off, because I swear every single draft that I've been in with him, we go the same punt. So it's going to be we're going to be fighting against each other again here on this one. That's going to be fun.
Hard to see who's going to win when you're both punting wins. So good luck to you.
Please. He's gone then Brandon Miller on the turn there to fit in. So I went Trey Murphy a little bit earlier with the same kind of thing in mind. He's gone Brandon Miller. So he's gone a very specific punt field goal percentage, punt rebounds, punt blocks, punt turnovers kind of build. Austin Reeves was the first pick here in the 4th. That's 37. How do you feel, Matrix, about Austin Reeves at 37? Is that a little bit early, or if you want your guy at that point, you've got to take him?
Oh, I don't think it's early at all. I would have taken him before Trey Murphy. Maybe not fitting your build particularly, but super high on Austin Reeves this year. He come honestly fresh out of my queue. Really like him there, and honestly, I think at 37, in a world where like blokes like Fox and stuff are kind of falling due to their injuries, I had him at like 50. And then I seem to be taking him in and around that 35 because he also feels safe if you've taken a risk earlier on. I can get around Austin Reeves there. I know it's a little early compared to ADP data, but have a look where he is there. There's no chance of him ever coming back. So,
yeah, you got to wait 25 picks to get your pick again. So if you want your guy at that point, you've got to take him when you're on the turn. Brandon Miller went. Cooper Flagg went to Mally. Matty, I'll throw to you again, mate, quickly. What do we think Mally's looking at doing here? Because there's a bit of everything going on. How do you think he's looking at this one?
Oh, look, honestly, it's a relatively safe team to start off with the until you got risky with Cooper Flag. I mean, that field goal percentage is going to be really low with Anthony Davis, Paolo Banchero, and Cooper Flag. I do think you start to get some assists when it comes to Cooper Flag, though, but I don't think that's what he's going through. I think there will be a lot of turnovers. There'll be a lot of low field goal percentage, and yeah, those counting stats are probably there. I actually think that Mally will decide whether he's punting like a rebounds or assists in the next upcoming picks. So yeah, I think he's staying quite fluid with his thinking there. He hasn't really ruined anything except that sort of field goal percentage. So
yeah, and obviously Mally's a big punter as well, so it's pretty clear what direction he wants to go in. Franz Wagner goes at where are we, 40, which look, I can get around it. I think that's fine. But I'm not overly high on Franz Wagner this year, just knowing that Desmond Bain's another pair of hands that's going to take the ball away from him. Then we've gone, I went Kristaps Porzingis.
Tingus
Pingus. He fit into my build somewhat. I know, I'm not necessarily focusing on blocks with this build, but he is a low rebounding center and a guy that shoots a three and can average 20 points per game. So, I kind of like him there. Ivica Zubac goes to Carl. We did a show today on busts. Was Ivica Zubac the 4th round bust that we mentioned today?
Carl, I'm sorry, but yes, he was.
Talk to us about why.
Yeah, for those that aren't aware of Zubac and why we think he's a bust. So in all these years in the NBA, he's never been ranked inside the top 100 until last year. So last year he finished the year ranked 41. Fantastic, great year out of him. But he was averaging 7 more minutes per game and shot almost career best averages from the field and career best stats across all stats. So now that he's got Brook Lopez back up center, John Collins back up center there as well, if they want to run a small ball 5, I see those minutes coming back, and therefore he's not going to get the usage that he has previously. So yeah, maybe not in the 40s, Carlos.
But hey, if he likes him, he likes him. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler goes next. You take him, mate. Talk us through Jimmy Butler and how he fits in with you.
Yeah, so defensively, I like that he's known as being a bit of a dog. So he steals, doesn't really get a lot of blocks, but usually pretty good from the field. And if you look at who I've got there, Anthony Davis usually gets a lot of his ball around the rim. Derek White, I'm probably going to take a little hit from there, but I'm looking for more defensive stats out of him. Josh Giddey's probably just an all-round type of build. I see him being quite a good player this year, and he probably slipped a little bit, and I wasn't expecting him to come to me, so it was a, fuck yeah, he's there, I'm going to take him, because even if he doesn't fit my build by the end, I might be able to sell him off to whoever may value him more than me in the league as we go. And then Jimmy Butler fits in with White and Davis.
Do you want to, while Matty's pick's coming up, Horse, so do you want to run us through the rest of the 4th round?
Yeah, of course I can. So P. Diddy takes Zion Williamson, the skinny guy from the New Orleans Pelicans. Kawhi Leonard goes to Matrix's marvelous team there. Miles Turner to Squid. Denny Avdia to the bloke who doesn't know much ball. That's, what's his name? Deadly? Yeah, that's his name. And Kingy goes with Walker Kessler. That's out of my queue. And Osar Thompson. So we can see there Thompson, Kessler, Holmgren, Daniels, and Wembanyama. He's probably got the starting 5 in this year's first team, all defensive team. So, yeah, defensive-wise. So for me, it's going to be a headache coming up against that team because I'm trying to focus in on defensive stats and he's got them all locked away there. So, but for someone like you, Brano, where you've gone a center that's low rebounding but can shoot the 3, and the rest of them being points, assists, steals, that's the best way to counteract such a defensive intense build that Kingy's gone with there.
Oh, it just means we're not going to be stealing blokes out of each other's queue. Like, obviously, he's got a very different build. I'm not looking to, cash in too much on blocks or anything like that. I'm more so focusing on steals if I can find them, which these naturally, these guards that get assists and everything and have that usage, they get those steals anyway. So, yeah, points, threes, big focus for me. Assists, obviously, going to be a focus. Steals, as well. And my free throw percentage, I need to be quite wary of my free throw percentage because that's probably going to be the tipping point for my build here to make sure I get that 5th category, considering I'm aggressively punting 4. So, that's probably the one challenge there with a build like this. But again, a lot of the guys that get points and threes are usually pretty good free throw shooters, so they go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. End of the 4th. Matty's on the clock now. We'll come to him. He's just taken LeBron James. So we'll go Asar Thompson. Ja Morant's gone taken there at 50. Laurie Markkinen, LeBron James matrix. Give us your thoughts, mate. You've gone Kawhi into LeBron. Bit of age, but LeBron sliding into the 50s is incredible value.
Yeah, that's what I was sitting there. It's not really what I wanted to do. I saw my whole queue entered, which I suppose is... Horse said that Deadly didn't know ball. Well, obviously I don't either because he emptied my queue there. But yeah, I sort of had Denny Avdia, Walker Kessler, Ja Morant, and Laurie Markkinen all before LeBron. Just really didn't want to take that risk there. But look, I had to at that stage. I feel like I can't let LeBron go past me at 50. This is a 2-hour IR league. And I know looking at LaMelo, Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron that they're going to be full a fair bit this year. But
you'll be using it, that's for sure.
I mean, it might not be. Like, you have to take the best available. And when we're talking, Joel Embiid, Nikola Vucevic, Laurie Markkinen, Desmond Bane, Jordan Poole, and all those guys getting taken at the moment, like, I can't let even a 42-year-old LeBron go past me at that. I don't know if in the last 10 years LeBron would have ever been picked at 50-odd. And, that's where I'm at. So,
yeah, look, it is a 2 IR league, so, we might start to see some risk taken on some guys. Some stashes might happen in the top 100 in this league. Well, it probably should, to be completely fair. You've got guys like DeJounte Murray and, Kyrie and all those guys that are going to be back come, January. Some even earlier, Tyler Hero. I'm interested to see where he ends up going because we're coming up to around that Tyler Hero stash territory. Especially since what are your thoughts, Horse? I'll start with you on the rumors that Tyler Hero could be back for Game 1. Hawks announcers have gone and said that they spoke with personnel at Miami and said that he might be ready to go for the start of the season.
Yeah, that's unreal, isn't it? So there's a rumor that's been generated by the Hawks commentary team that hasn't been backed up by Heat's injury management team or their physios or what have you. So until we hear word, then you're still going to stick with that same time frame of 4 to 6 weeks into the season that Hero will be available. And until such time, you've got to draft expecting that.
Yep. We've seen, to recap after LeBron James, we've seen Josh. He said at the start of the show
where there's smoke, there's water, though.
Oh, I heard that today.
Where there's smoke, there's water usually.
I'm
Matrix told me
this on the phone.
Thirsty for Tyler Hero.
Yeah, so we were chatting, and he's like, "Where there's smoke, there's water." Mind you, he had no beers at this stage, so he can't even blame the Great Northerns there in sunny Queensland.
How many beers or Great Northerns do you think Whisper has taken to have Joel Embiid there? He's gone and get him at 53 now. So that's the 4. So he said he's done 3 drafts and has 3 shares of Embiid. Now he's got 4. So I'd love to hear. Horse is a big. I wouldn't get him in the top 200 type guy. Matrix, where we'd take him in the right spot. You get a chance for a rebuttal.
Yeah, I get him at like 69. That's where I've got him ranked at the moment. But man, Whisperer's got some gonads. He plays fantasy a bit like me too. I couldn't do it. I'd rather take an injured LeBron than an injured Joel Embiid. But honestly, he was probably the same if it flip-flopped over. But yeah, look, if I was taking him, it would have been in the next round.
Yeah, I'm happy to take him when we start talking about maybe 6th, 7th round. I just think maybe 5th is a tiny bit early with the injury risk. But again, it's an IR league. He's got Zion too, so I'll tell you what, he could be using both of those IR leagues. He's also got Jaren Jackson Jr., who missed the start of the season. So they're going to be parked up pretty full for him straight off the bat. Desmond Bane, Horse, you took him, mate. Give us a rundown on Bane here.
Basically because I wanted to pick him because he was playing for Matrix's favourite team, and now he doesn't. So I feel like I needed to have some sort of shares in Desmond Bane, but good threes, good steals, can get you assists as well. Matrix, you're a big fan or were a big fan of him. I'm not sure whether you still are, but you were a big fan of his
still
game.
Yeah, I still am. I just have some question marks about the fit with Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. I know that he's very good without the ball, and I think he could, still do similar things. He was just such a focal point in that secondary ball handler. I think he'll still be like a bit of a ball handler, but I don't know if he gets that finishing shot that he got in Memphis with Paolo and Franz there. I'm interested to see, and I think that it was a worthy risk where you took him. But yeah, I've seen him go a lot earlier, which I'm not on board with. But yeah, didn't fit my build this time. But I think that's a steal, really, where you got him.
I think we'll let's keep moving. Nikola Vucevic goes to Carl. He's gone with Zubac and Vucevic back to back, so he's trying to lock up some boards there to go with Mobley and some blocks. I took Jordan Poole again. Fits the build I'm looking for. Field goal percentage, good free throw shooter. He'll find some assists, I would naturally assume, this year, especially with DeJounte out to start the year. He'll lock up threes for me. I've already got threes covered, but yeah, he'll solidify them. Zach LaVine goes straight after to Secco. OG Anunoby there goes to Mally. Kobe White there at the end at the 5'11", and then at the 60th pick, De'Aaron Fox, who will be missing the start of the year, so Corey will be using his IR slot on him. Into Jalen Duran. Darius Garland then goes straight away there to Flanders, so 5 guards in his first 6 picks. I mean, look, you could technically call Brandon Miller a guard. It's very clear what Brody's doing. How do you see this build playing out? Do you think that there's some risk when you go so guard heavy like this? He's picked 5 point guards, Horse.
Yep.
Obviously, he's now going to have to start chasing other positions.
Yep, playing with fire. And as Matrix says, where there's fire, what is it? Where there's smoke, there's water. So,
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that makes no sense. But anyway, I just don't like the guard heavy build. I think if you go 3 or 4 early on and then look to perhaps pick up, like yourself, you picked up 3 guards and you picked up a center who, gets stats like a guard. I think that's probably the way that you need to play it. And who else is like a big that shoots the 3, like a
Miles Turner?
Was
another one that was in my
Brook
queue.
Lopez maybe later in the draft you might be targeting. Like these are the players that he's going to need to have a look at.
Look, that.
Yeah.
There's some great center eligible players. A little bit, in a couple of rounds. To be fair, he's just going to want to hope because you've gone very, very specific, and there's only a couple of kind of center options here that are going to fit that build at the back end of the draft. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes with that. Miles Bridges Peyton Pritchard also went to Mally there. Good little pickup by Mally at, what are we looking at? That's 63 now. Miles Bridges at 64. I took Brandon Ingram at 65. Again, gets me what I need. Michael Porter Jr. went straight after. He was also a guy that was in my queue that fit my build at 6'6". Tyler Hero stashed. Horse, you're the man to get him using up that IR.
Yeah, 100%. I've got him in another couple of leagues, and I hope the Atlanta Hawks announcers fucking bang on with his mail. But you know what? Even if he's not, he goes on to IR. I'll play without him for a couple of weeks, and then we'll get him involved. So pretty happy there.
Take us, Horse, you want to take us through the rest of the round?
Yeah, sure. Jared Allen goes next. Jakob Poeltl goes to Matrix's marvelous team. Julius Randle, the man who is pretty good at some things and not very good at most things. Next to Jake's brilliant team, Rudy Gobert, the French breadstick, goes to read a book on me. He may as well delete his team. He's no good. Tari Eason goes to Kingy. Again, very defensive heavy with Donovan Klingen there. It's a very, very good defensive team there that Kingy's putting together. Andrew Nemhard, my man, goes to Deadly. So maybe I do know a thing or two if he's listening to me. Paul George has slipped to round 7, pick 3 Matrix. You're about to pick, so I won't ask you about that, but Paul George there, Brado. If we're talking a couple of years ago, this guy's going inside the top 30. Now he's going round 7 at almost the earliest.
It's, sad that someone like Paul George can drop off the earth like that. It's just injuries. It's just the fact that no one has any confidence in his body anymore. So, the older you get, the harder it is to stay on the court there. So, Matty, talk us through Kingy's build there. He's gone and taken Tari Eason into Donovan Klingen. Do you want to walk everybody through the strategy Kingy's using at the moment?
Yeah, I like it. It's very punt heavy. When you go Wemby, Dyson, Chet, Walker Kessler, Osar Thompson, Tari Eason and Donovan Clingan. Yeah, I like what he's put together. Again, there won't be. Oh, there you go. Somebody putting something up about punting assists there. There won't be too many assists at all. I don't know. How's the field goal percentage? Really, really struggles, and a punt threes build. So yeah, again, like really leaning into the punt, as we know, he does. You can follow him. I believe it's Adam King on X. Always punting extremely heavy, but yeah, does it to a T really.
What's he punting? He's punting field goal percentage. He's punting assists
and threes.
What else would you say he's punting? And threes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, you only need to win 5 categories to win. It's a 9-category league. You win 5 every week, you win every week. So yeah, very good, effective strategy to use. But you're playing with fire, and it's a dangerous one to use if you don't know what you're doing. So, Andrew Nembard, you mentioned, went to Deadly. Paul George, Norman Powell, Matrix went to you. You've been a pretty big advocate of Norm Powell and the increased usage. I don't think that really affects his draft capital too much, even if Tyler Hero is back. I still think he's a great pick around this spot.
Yeah, I had him really high before Tyler Hero got ruled out. To be fair, I had Tyler Hero at 25 as well. Pretty high on those two, doing the bulk of the work in there. Of course, Khalil Ware's had an extremely good preseason, but I think that he's more of a bench guy. And, Norman Powell will do a bit with the starters and a bit with the bench. Look, just really high on Norm. I probably don't need to say too much about Norm, considering how often I've taken him in drafts, and it was kind of a warm blanket pick. I was struggling a bit. I did find it a little bit early for Bezelis, even though I am super high on him as well. Just went with my guy. It just felt like a bit of a safety blanket, but then Emmanuel quickly went afterwards. We're starting to see a few of those Toronto Raptors starters all go in. Ingram, Pirtle, Scotty Barnes has gone in quickly. Yep. And then and then Bezelis gone, and then Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson, Brano. One that will keep your field goal percentage up, I presume.
Oh, I don't need field goal percentage. I'm punting that with this build. But free throws good, threes are good, can get a steal. And the one thing I'm probably needing to chase a little bit more now is assists, so I'll keep an eye on them for my next pick. I'm interested to see what Flanders is going to do here. He's gone with Shaden Sharp there as the first kind of shooting guard.
You would think that, for me, if I was him, I'm targeting like an Alex Sarr or something like that here.
It's Sarr or Khalil Ware for me personally. I think if he wants a big man that can shoot the 3 and fit into his build, I think it could be one of those guys. But yeah, I'm interested to see what direction he goes, because he's got the same. He's taken Sarr.
There it is.
So that fits nicely. I mean, it doesn't really suit the punting blocks, but at the same time, he shoots the 3 ball and he's pretty inefficient. So that kind of plays out quite well. Benedict Mathurin then went straight after him to Mally, and now we've got Seko on the clock there. How do you, Matty, we'll throw to you because you're further away. Who's your biggest competition in this draft, do you think, with the build that you're trying to make at the moment?
Honestly, like most drafts, probably Mally. I really like his team. He's kind of like, I don't know. If you think of me as Superman, he's kryptonite, except if like kryptonite didn't really affect me and just came second every year.
I knew that was coming.
Unreal. Never one to shy away from modesty, is he?
We wouldn't expect it.
But yeah,
and Matrix.
No, genuinely, I will come 12th or 1st. But look, Mally's is probably the team that I've found I'm competing against the most. And and his players have often fell out of my queue.
And that's. Oh, sorry. Go.
Yeah, I was just going to say, even though we're at ends, I think that his have been coming out of my queue, and guys that I'm selecting early to throw in queue because I'm pretty confident they'll fall to me. They just haven't been with Mally in this draft. So.
Yeah, and that's where we're at that kind of part of the draft, and I'm a little bit trying to work out which way I want to go with this. I mean, I've got a couple of options. I was going to lock up a. Yeah, go for it.
I was going to say, I'll let you you make your decision. But we saw Anthony Simons into DeMar DeRozan into Shaden Sharp. At the turn, we saw Isaiah Hartenstein and Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges has been kind of falling in drafts, I think a bit hoarse. So, definitely last year, and we've seen years where he's been a second round pick, not a second round player.
Yeah. Just at New York, I get the fit, but I don't get the fit for fantasy. So you've got a similar build in OG Anunoby there as well, who's a good wing defender as well. So they've got him, OG, Cat, Mitch Robinson, very good defensively. Jalen Brunson, we've seen Tibbs in the past just lean into that starting five, I guess, and not worrying about anyone else. But yeah, this year, probably a lot the same. I don't think much changes. I think Jalen Brunson and Cat are the two offensive weapons, so to speak. You've got OG and Mikal Bridges that sit on the wings and shoot threes, and then you've got Mitch Robinson protecting the rim and putting back any misses inside. So that's probably how it still rolls.
I also think, like, at 93, you're not spending that much draft capital to get Mikal Bridges. So that's probably why I'm okay with it. And I think I said off air to some of you guys, draft capital is a word I want to use more in this draft. So there's the count at one.
It makes you sound like your IQ's above 60. I like it.
It is above 60. You know that because I beat you every year. So
Hates mentioning it, doesn't he?
Oh, doesn't he?
Yeah, but let's keep going. Oh, you took Khalil Ware. Cool.
I did.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on him? Because obviously Khalil Ware, the rumours are, and what it looks like is happening in the preseason is he'll start off the bench. Yeah. There's some opinions about it. People look at being off the bench as a negative. I actually think it's a positive.
I think it's a positive. Yeah.
It's more a matter of I'm a little bit concerned about the minutes and what that looks like because they didn't play him and Bam Adebayo together on court at all in any of the games they played in preseason. They separated them completely. So does that concern you a little bit in terms of minutes?
Yes and no. I don't think Miami are going to be a great team this year. So when you're looking at the Miami Heat and the way forward for them and the way Khalil Ware came on at the back end of last year, it's like, well, who have they got? They've got Bam, and they tried Bam at the 4 and then Khalil Ware at the 5, and it didn't really work. But if you've got Bam at the 5, maybe a little bit of 4, and then you've got Khalil Ware with the second unit at the 5 getting the majority of the ball and being the center of the offense, so to speak, when your Hero and your Adebayos and your Powers are having a rest, it could be wheels up for Khalil Ware. He can block, he can shoot the 3, he can get boards, does a little bit of everything.
Now, the one thing I'm finding quite interesting, I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to ruin anyone's strategy here, but there's one center still on the board with an ADP of 67.4 in Yahoo, and he's still sitting there, and we are currently at the 99th pick, and we've just seen 2 centers go before him in Derek Lively and Nick Claxton. What are your thoughts on DeAndre Ayton still sitting here, and we're into the 100th pick? Have people just lost faith, Matrix, or are you looking at taking him next?
Oh, yeah, no, he was in my queue. I thought he might have got around to me after taking John Collins. Thanks for mentioning him, mate. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Back to the drawing board.
Even Josh in the chat said you're not getting him, so that was, I'm assuming, to horse. So, yeah, I mean, look, DeAndre Ayton at 100 is just insane value, or 99, wherever he's dropped, is insane. To pick Claxton before Ayton, I think, is wild, deadly. So, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Matrix is on the clock. We went, oh, there you go, Tamani Kamara, straight out of my queue. Talk to us. Tamani Kamara, I think this is probably, he's been going in the top 100, so this is around the range, I think, that you probably get a little bit of value.
Yeah, this is the first time I've actually taken him. I do think of him a little bit as Denny FD's shadow a bit. I've been, I suppose, expending some draft capital in Denny Avdia in some other drafts. That's number 2 in the count. But Tamani Kamara hasn't fell to me because I actually don't think of him too much as a top 80 guy. I do think the way that my team's built with those punting strategies, he can be a top 60 in a -2 rank. I'm using #basketball in the background, having a bit of a play with that. But yeah, look, Tamani Kamara, one that I haven't got, probably slid to me and wasn't really on my radar. But yeah, look, excited to have some, I suppose, some stocks in him because I've heard so much about him. I do like to swing for the fences, and I think that it's a relatively safe pick in and around this 100 range. So.
Yeah, I think it is as well. I think you get a bit of value there. It could be a top 80, top 70 player at the end of the year. He's got a really fantasy-friendly game too. We'll recap. We're in round 9 now. Derek Lively, Nick Claxton, DeAndre Ayton, run of centres there. Tamani Kamara, Suggs, Green, Wiggins. I'm on the clock. I might throw to one of you guys to keep me warm.
Yep, I can keep you warm.
Thank you.
You like swinging for the fences, Matrix, with a baseball bat or a golf club?
Oh, well, we know how far I can hit it with a golf club, so you choose.
Back to me, winning bets. Yep, I should have known that before I brought that up. Andrew Wiggins, he's pretty interesting, Matrix. We should just stick to ball because no matter which way I go with you, you've got a way of bloody shaming me. But Andrew Wiggins, how do you see his year going? Because we've seen in the preseason he's been dog shit from the field. It's almost like as he's getting older and he's got less spring in his step and his agility, he's not as reliant on being as athletic as what he was when he first came into the league. Is this the start of the downturn of Andrew Wiggins, or do you think this is a bad fit in Miami, or do you think this has just been a bad start to the year for Andrew Wiggins?
I mean, if you think this is a downturn, this is kind of what he's been the last couple of years. That sort of, draft him at 100 and he'll probably be 100. We saw him get taken a little bit earlier in some other drafts. Look, I have been an Andrew Wiggins truther. I've got his signature shoe at home. I've got a signed piece of, floorboard with Andrew Wiggins on, but realistically, I can't get around it when it starts to come. Hey, hold on. I'll let you.
Sorry,
talk.
Dad.
We've got Tyler Hero. We've got Norman Powell. Andrew Wiggins is just so far down that pecking order. I'd even have him maybe behind a Jovic and a Khalil Ware and all those guys at the moment. Look, I wouldn't be drafting him in this range. I think this is his ceiling is probably my issue.
I think so. Yeah. You took Beal, Braino.
Yeah.
So we had a show with Kingy today that if it's not on socials yet, it will be shortly. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of it again. So Bradley Beal, we discussed that in the ninth round, Bradley Beal, whether it's a bust or a bargain, and I argued bust. You said that you'd be happy to take him in the 80s. You've got him now at 104. You must be stoked with that value.
Yeah, I feel like it's value. I feel like he's potentially a top 80 player. He hasn't been outside the top 86, I think, in his career. I don't necessarily see that changing too much. It's just a per game issue, but we have 2 IR. So I'm more than happy with 2 IR to take him here. If, worst case scenario happens, I have to drop the guy that I picked up at 104 for the year if he goes out for the season. So I feel like not only does he fit the build, but he's not a bad pick and a bit of value there in an IR league. Devin Vassell went after me. Kevin Porter Jr. out of my queue to Mally. Naz Reid there now. So we're seeing a few kind of picks to chase positions here from Flanders in Saar into Naz Reid. We'll see what he goes with this. Santi Aldama on the turn to Reed Shepherd. That's probably around the time now I'd get Reed Shepherd, around that 120. To DeJounte Murray, which, interesting pick, but probably just has slid so far, Matty, that you have to stash DeJounte at this, but I'm not quite sure he fits the build.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting maybe he's hoping to sit him in IR and trade him when he comes back, but you see what what you've got when you go there. Lucky it's 2 IR because you've got Garland and DeJounte there, and he's still not really filling those center spots. But yeah, look, I trust that he knows what he's doing there. But yeah, look, yeah, it's hard to see the fit with some of those guys there.
Yeah.
Murray hasn't been that good since leaving San Antonio, has he, Brano? So he went from San Antonio to Atlanta, and his game sort of regressed a little bit when we're talking from a fantasy point of view. And it wasn't that much better when he got traded from Atlanta to New Orleans before the injured.
Sorry, who was that you mentioned? Cut out there.
DeJounte Murray. Yeah,
I feel like he actually regressed a little bit in Atlanta. It'll be interesting to see whether he, can get a decent full year together out in Pelicans land. But I like him as a player. I love his game. It's more a matter of just whether he can come back from this injury. I would naturally say that he's going to start slow. He's going to start pretty slowly, I think. And Flanders in the chat saying Nas as a centre. Yeah, and to be fair, Nas Reid as a centre is a good pickup, considering he probably needed one in that position. So that fits the build to play quite small there. Tobias Harris into Jaden Ivey, and now it's my pick. Let's see what we can do. We're at a point now where I could probably take a couple of flyers. I might need another centre eventually. I'm just not quite sure whether now's the right time for it. I'm looking at the standings right now, and I probably do need to chase. It's a bit tricky at the moment because points, free throw, I'm pretty good at steals. Let's have a look-see and work out whether I need to. No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Jabari Smith Jr. because, again, that centre spot is a position that I need to cover. I've got Porzingis, but that pretty much locks up centre now. Two guys that aren't huge rebounders, but are good scorers, shoot the three ball, and are quite inefficient for their position. I feel like they fit my build perfectly. So that kind of wipes the centre slot, considering I'm punting rebounds and punting blocks. We can get that out of the way because Jabari Smith Jr. does none of those things really well. So we'll go with that. I know your picks are coming up. So we had Carl Stash, Kyrie Irving around this spot. You've taken Herb Jones' horse. Did you watch my reel that I posted 2 hours ago?
No.
Oh. Well, I said Herb Jones could be a top 100 player. So,
I mean, yes.
There you go.
No, I was busy doing kids' bedtime and all that sort of jazz. So, yeah.
I like that pick, though. Herb Jones, great shout there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good for your stocks. Can occasionally shoot the three. He's not as good at three as what some people are. But, yeah, he does have top 100 upside. And you brought it up today that sometimes with my drafting, I can be a little bit safe with what I do. So let's get spicy a little bit.
Hey, love it. I've negatively influenced you. That's exactly what I'm here to do.
Give
backhanded compliment.
Hot sauce.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
All right. Let's quickly start to recap some stuff here. We've gone after Herb Jones. Keegan Murray goes as a bit of a stash. He's out for the first couple of months. I'll tell you what, Josh is accumulating some injured players here, so I'm interested to see. Might need to add another couple of IR slots to this league for Josh. Onyeka Okongwu then goes to you, Matty. This is incredibly late for Onyeka Okongwu as well. I think there's value there around the 100 mark, and you're getting him at what? Where are we at the moment? 120.
Yeah, it's really funny because, according to ADPs, I probably went and reached on Jakob Poeltl, Norman Powell, and John Collins. But then taking guys that have just fell to me in LeBron James, Tamani Kamara, and Okongwu, just taking value where it sits. I've probably vocally said that I'm not very high on Onyeka Okongwu this year, but at 117, it's not expending a lot of draft capital, number 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going out there and, taking a top 80 pick, which I'm very against when it comes to Okongwu, because I think Kristaps will affect him negatively. But there is always that chance that Kristaps gets offended and gets injured. And then, Onyeka Okongwu is probably a top 120 guy when Kristaps is there, but probably a top 70 guy when he's not. I just couldn't see a reason not to take him in this round.
Completely, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Dante DiVincenzo goes to Skiddy there at the 10-10. Brandon Pajemski at 10-11. Keyshawn George goes to Kingy. I know he's pretty high on Keyshawn George. And into Mitch Robinson, who is another one of my guys, I feel. And fits this build perfectly.
Fits that build perfectly.
He's got 6 center eligible players
in a 1 center league.
In a 1 center league, which is going to be interesting to see how he goes fitting them all in. And Nikola Jovic is definitely a great pick there from Deadly. We'll give him that one. Into Drew Holiday, which is also, he's going to have to do a fair bit of the heavy lifting to start the season with Scoot Henderson out for at least the first month. What do we think of... let's give Deadly his flowers here. I feel like he's got a bargain there with Nikola Jovic, who looks like he'll be starting in Miami. Matty, what are your thoughts on him this year and his stocks?
Yeah, I do really like it. It's a guy that I'm high on. There's just so many questions about who's going to get the minutes between Kalel Ware and Nikola Jovic, and I think the answer is just both. I think it's nearly going to be a split. I think when those starters are out there, Jovic is such a better fit. And I say starters, I think especially next to Bam, it's such a better fit. The way that Jovic plays and can play that point forward and allow Bam to cook, whereas Kalel Ware and Bam are so similar. And Kalel Ware's not in Bam's level. But, yeah, I think that Jovic, there is 28 minutes a night for him, with maybe 20 minutes for Kalel Ware, which gives them both value. And then, yeah, if one of them's cooking, then the other one sits for a bit. So, yeah, I'm okay with either.
Yeah, fair enough. Jaden McDaniels for you, Matty. Obviously defensive player, and in a sense, I think we're around the mark now, aren't we, in the draft, where honestly you could take anybody and it's hard to argue against it unless you're taking a player that's not playing. Like Jaden McDaniels kind of guy could go anywhere from 100 to 140, and you'd go, yep, that makes sense, depending on the build.
Do you know what Jaden McDaniels is like? Missionary sex. It's like fine. It's good. But yeah, there's nothing exciting about it. It's just there. And at this point in the draft, then you just take it. We're talking 120s for a guy that was top 100 last year. That'll probably be top 120 again. Minimal risk.
Rate it. We've seen Malik Monk go to Josh. Aaron Neesmith then goes to you, Horse. I'll come back to you in a second. Keontae George. Absolute ultimate snipe job there from Carl. So I took CJ out of his queue, sniped him one before, and he's taken Keontae George out of mine and made me panic. Keon Ellis, I needed some steals. I was having a look at the standings and I'm a bit behind on steals, and that's probably the swing category for me at the moment. So I thought I'll lock in Keon Ellis. Keegan Murray out for at least the first couple of months by the looks of things, and Keon Ellis is the natural beneficiary to come in and fill that slot, I'd assume. With DeMar moving to the 4. So, Keon Ellis bumps my steals up. He also fits my build. He's a good free throw shooter, good field goal guy, and shoots the 3 ball, shoots the piss out of it if he gets a chance. So, Aaron Gordon then goes straight after. VJ Edgecombe goes to Mally. This is the first rookie that Mally's taken. Obviously, I think it might be the first rookie in the draft aside from Cooper Flagg that's gone so far. Matty, what are your thoughts on VJ Edgecombe? We've had a super coach debate about what the best guards are, but when it comes to fantasy, who's the next man up when it comes to redraft content for fantasy?
Look, probably him, and we see people take these rookies every year, and like last year I don't think there was anyone in the top 100, but we're getting in that realms of that 130. Yeah, you can start to take a risk, and look, VJ Edgecombe, his upside is top 100, but his floor, with the way that this team seems to be injured and the way that they're going to need him, and he's going to get those defensive stats regardless of if the shot's going in. And we all know that, when you play college, you don't play 82 games. So he's going to get gassed and he's going to be, probably pretty ordinary. But surely his floor is like 140 with how many games we probably expect Paul George and Joel Embiid to play.
Yeah, I think I'd naturally assume like he gets the start, he'll be inefficient, he fits a certain build, and obviously with what Mally's gone and drafted with Mathurin, KPJ, a couple of shot chuckers there, Peyton Pritchard, he's already got Cooper Flagg, so he's locked up both the rookies, which is great. So Yeah, I tend to agree. I think he's. Oh, oh my god! All right, so I'm going to throw to one of you guys because that's like the second time I've been sniped in 2 rounds. It's starting to annoy me now.
D'Angelo Russell at 136. That's like I know that Cooper Flag has been rumored to start the point forward position, but that's pretty late for D'Angelo Russell, Matrix.
Yeah, I think that's probably still his floor. Whereas I got less excited when it come to Supercoach, hearing that news, because I did expect him to start. Like, again, what are you wasting at 130? Nothing really. You're just getting a guy that you know is going to get assists. Not probably. Is the best point guard on the team. Honestly, he's probably the only point guard on this team. So yeah, bit disappointing that he popped straight out of Brano's queue, but yeah, Zach Edey and D'Lo popped out of mine as well. So.
I genuinely thought there's no way he's taking D'Lo in this spot, just looking at the rest of his squad. But there you go. You know, you can never rest on your laurels in drafts. You just never know when someone's going to come and get you. Which means I then just took a stash on Scoot Henderson. Yeah, he might start a little bit slow, but he does. He gets me the assist that I'm going to need. And obviously with the 2 IR, I haven't taken any injured players so far. Well, not any currently injured players. Obviously, there's a bit of risk there at the start in Steph Curry and guys like that. But and Kristaps Porzingis, they're probably my 2 injury risk kind of guys in this squad. So I felt like I could take a flyer on Scoot. And this is pretty late. I feel like we're in stash territory now comfortably with guys like this that are going to be a 28-minute-a-night guy when he comes back eventually. So, happy to take him there. Sam Hauser then goes straight after on the 12-6. Ty Jerome, Klay Thompson, and PJ Washington. I knew PJ Washington's a bit of a my guy for you, Matty. Talk to us.
Yeah, I actually kind of didn't know he was until I just started taking him in drafts. Look, I know last year is ordinary. I think he was about that 160 kind of value. But I think with the news of D'Angelo Russell maybe sliding out, it's PJ Washington's team to slide into. Like, that's the reason they're pushing D'Lo out. Is, to be fair, that is probably their best starting 5 when you've got PJ at the 4. I just thought there'd be an injury before he becomes a top 100 guy, but yeah, look, maybe not. And at top 144, what am I really expending? He does have upside, but look, yeah, PJ just seems safe at 144 despite a risky pick at 120, which we probably saw him go at last year.
Yeah, I think so. You took Ty Jerome, Horse. Any quick thoughts on Ty Jerome? I reckon Ja Morant's probably back to start the season, apparently. Where do you see him fitting in here?
I still don't mind that. I still think he's the number 1 option off the bench. Matrix, you're a Memphis man. You might be in a bit better position than me to answer that. But if he's anything like he was at stages last year with Cleveland, I think he could be really nice.
I think he only needs 20 minutes a night as well. I've got him above the pecking order, above Scottie Pippen Jr. So, yeah, probably playing a bit of those backup minutes. He can play at the 2 as well. Ja Morant really is a point guard because of his side. It's not for his elite, passing accuracy or anything like that. He creates a lot of attention when he's got the ball, which creates assists. I think having the safety of a Ty Jerome next to Ja Morant could work as well. I think where you've picked him, 20 minutes per night gets you value. Anything above that is a bonus. And look, I fully expect him to play 25 minutes a night. And if Ja is out, then honestly, probably 30 to start.
Yeah, Jar's come out and basically said, called cap, as the kids say, on the fact that he's, going to miss the start of the season. So he seems pretty confident. It'll be interesting to see if he does.
Matrix, we've got one of the AFL Kings in the chat, Kizza, saying, please let Matty have more airtime with his analogies. Don't like it. Don't rate it.
Yeah, so I'm presuming he's referring to the missionary sex of what I said, Jaden McDaniels. And when I look at Mally's team, I see Zach Edey. So it's like missionary sex with somebody with a broken ankle when it comes to Zach Edey there. So yeah, you're welcome, Kizza.
He's not very capable of many other positions if his ankle's cooked. So he's got to be careful.
Absolutely.
let's quickly recap where after PJ Washington at the 12-9, Dennis Schroeder, Ace Bailey, Taylor Hendricks, Namias Cater, Isaiah Collier, DeAndre Hunter, Brooke Lopez goes to you, Matty. Jonathan Kuminga then goes between you. Ryan Kalkbrenner goes to you, Horse. Talk to us. I'll throw to you first, Matty, quickly on Brooke Lopez. It's worth a flyer at a guy that's going to play 20 minutes and get your block and a half a game in next to no game time. So I like it. Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
this is honestly fully tied to the blocks that I think he's going to get. If maybe there's an injury or anything coming forward, then yeah, Brooke gets more minutes. But yeah, now he's a backup. Now he's extremely old. But I like blocks, and you're definitely not getting that with anyone else this late in the draft.
Unless your name's Ryan Kalkbrenner, Horse. Reckon he can get you some blocks?
Oh, if he gets game time, yeah. I think if he does anything or as advertised, he's a Kingy, my guy, and we know that Kingy loves him and loves the prospect of him getting some game time at Charlotte. Whether he starts or not, I'm not sure, but he's shown a lot in the preseason. And really, are they going to go Mason Plumlee or Moussa Diabate, who has no range, rebounds the ball okay, gives 100%, but on natural ability? What happens? Like, I see Ryan Kalkbrenner as probably the better center at Charlotte and the way forward for them for the future.
I think long-term, Kalkbrenner is going to be the centre. I think it's more a matter of time. How long is it going to take them to get to that spot? Right. I would say after the new year, that there is every chance. I think once they realise that Charlotte don't need to take too long to realise they suck and that they're going to be tanking another year. It'll be more a matter of LaMelo's health, Brandon Miller's health. Like if these guys stay fit and healthy, I reckon they'll go okay. But as soon as one of them goes down, it'll be engage full tank season, I think, 100%. Yet again for Charlotte, which means that these guys are going to get minutes. Kalkbrenner, Concanipple could get some minutes there as well. So, yeah, there's opportunity across the board there at Charlotte if for the right time. And, yeah, Josh, cock and ball stack. That could be a banger. It could be like, actually, I probably can't say that on the podcast, but Anthony Black and Grady Dick, when they did their jersey swap over, that could be a bit of that cock and balls action.
Cock.
Yeah. Yes. I've seen someone that I don't mind here, and I bet you he snipes me on him. After Kalkbrenner, we saw Messi. I took Zach Ricochet. I think this is really late for a starting small forward. Maybe it's my Atlanta bias, but I think Ricochet probably plays 30 minutes a game this year, 32 minutes. Fits the right build, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Io DeSunmu went straight after. Cam Whitmore, again, pretty late for Cam Whitmore. A bit of a flyer on him at the back end of a draft, so I like that from Mally. Quentin Grimes, Isaiah Jackson, I can't believe he was still there, actually. Jason Tatum, I kind of like that because, a bit of Kobe Bryant about him, or want to be Kobe Bryant. Wants to come back this year. We'll see what happens. Jeremy Grant, Wendell Carter Jr., Scottie Pippen. Thank God he didn't take my player. I am going to take a bit of a flyer on the Sextown, Colin Sexton, to finish up my draft.
Yeah,
I think there's every chance Colin Sexton could probably start.
Yeah.
If he doesn't start, he gets significant minutes off running the bench unit for Charlotte. So, yeah, to get a guy in round 14, 160 odd deep, that could potentially get good minutes, I rate it. All right, Horse, talk to me. What's your last pick going to be? What are you thinking?
I don't know. Just going through what's left, and there's not a lot left, but I want to try and find someone with a bit of upside. I know there's Gary Trent Jr., who's a starting shooting guard at Milwaukee. Get your steals, get your threes. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope at Memphis will get time this year. Moses Moody, starting shooting guard at Golden State. Mosey Moody. Bub Carrington, is he going to start at Washington?
Oof.
Not sure.
I think Bub Carrington probably does start, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bryce Sensabaugh, love you, Carl. That's a my guy type of pick. Well played. That's
Definitely.
A great pick.
That's a great pick.
At 160, when did he get him? 162 to get Bryce Sensabaugh. Yeah, rate That. Gary Trent Jr. Horse. Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Flyer.
threes and
Steals.
sweet FALs and steals.
Yeah.
I mean, Milwaukee, there's every chance he could play 32, 34 minutes a night. Like, they've got absolute sweet FA going all there in the guard spot. So
they've got nothing.
Like that. Daniel Gafford then goes to Josh with his final pick. Lonzo Ball matrix. We're talking actually from a super coach perspective, looking at Lonzo Ball, trying to work out whether we can start with him or not. The 9-4-9 and 3 blocks today got you rowdy, did it?
Yeah, I tell you what, I went from 6 to 7:30 looking.
Did you see that? He's got the red wine out.
Yeah. Is this your first red wine matrix podcast? You're in for a treat, my friend.
Oh dear.
Yeah. This happens quite often. But
you know when you're playing a PlayStation game. Oh, sorry. This is when you're playing a PlayStation game and you've got like an unlockable character, like on WWE 2K25, right? And you haven't unlocked the 1999 The Rock. It's like Matrix when he drinks wine. You haven't unlocked him, but now you have. You finally got enough unlock points to unlock red wine Matrix. Welcome.
You guys all deserve it for sticking with us for an hour and 10 minutes. So you guys are in for a great treat when it comes to this. Genuinely, this last pick, I needed a point guard. So I had your Yemen, I had Bub Carrington, and Lonzo Ball. And yeah, those few points today, 9-6 and 9 today was enough to get me over the line with just selecting him. But to be honest, that's probably a stream spot there. I will try and pick up one of those other players, as I'll be putting LeBron straight in IR the second this finishes. But yeah, we all know that I've got to do waiver wire pickups for that. So yeah, look, it'll be a bit of a rat race there. I know that we'll all be heavily putting in waiver wire picks in a 2 IR lead the second that this finishes. So
100%. 100%. And look, this is obviously going to be a really competitive league too. A lot of people in this draft that know what they're doing. A lot of people in this league that know what they're doing. Let's quickly recap our team, shall we? I'm not quite sure why it says Kingy's still on the clock with the draft complete. Who did he take? Doesn't say. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Matrix, give us a run through of your team, mate. You pick from the 4 spot.
Did pick from the 4 spot. Hold on, let me work out how I went here. Allen Iverson's ego. Oh, sorry, it hasn't updated on your screen. Selected Luka Doncic, and then Then I took Alperen Şengün, LaMelo Ball into Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James. Went on to take Norman Powell and Jakob Poeltl, followed by Johnny Collins, Tamani Kamara, Onyeka Okongwu, Jaden McDaniels, PJ Washington, Brook Lopez, and Lonzo Ball. So yeah, I feel pretty good looking at that from an early standpoint. Definitely punting free throw percentage straight away. That's been pretty awful. But I feel like I accidentally kind of crawled back turnovers a little bit. So yeah, maybe I'm not punting in as many categories as I can. I could probably accidentally win a few categories, and I probably didn't purposely go super heavy on rebounds, but a lot of my guards and those small forwards seem to get a lot of rebounds as well. So yeah, pretty happy with my team, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I like it. You've done well. Horse, from the 6, mate. Run us through it.
Yeah, so who have I got there? Anthony Davis, Derek White, Joshua Giddey for the Aussies. Oi, oi, oi. Jimmy Butler, Desmond Bain, Tyler Hero, who will be going straight to IR, Mattis Bazelis, Khalil Ware, Draymond Green, Herb Jones, Aaron Naismith, Ty Jerome, Cork Brenner, and Gary Trent, not senior, but junior. Pretty happy with the way that went. I've got a good mix of shit blokes like Draymond Green, but also some up-and-comers like your Khalil Ware, your Mattis Bazelises of the world that will be fun to watch this year. And now that I've got an invested interest by having them on a roster, I feel like I've covered threes pretty well. I was looking to punt them early on, but after picking up Bain, Hero, and these sorts of players, I feel like I've crawled that back a little bit. Boards, okay. Defensively, doing pretty well as well. My percentages might take a bit of a hit, but overall, pretty happy.
Love it. I picked from the 8 spot. And I must admit, I have never leaned into a 4-category punt in a real league before. So this is going to be an interesting year for me. I've gone Trey Young to start, Steph Curry to pair with him, and then I went Trey Murphy, Kristaps Porzingis. Where did I get him at? 41. And then I've got Jordan Poole in the 5th, Brandon Ingram, Cam Johnson, CJ McCollum, Bradley Beal. Jabari Smith Jr. ticks off another little centre category I needed to get sorted. So in a 1-centre league, I only had to get 2 of them. And we can kind of get rid of that category completely, considering I'm punting rebounds and punting blocks. Keon Ellis there gets my steals up and hopefully gets an opportunity early. Scoot Henderson, he'll be going straight to IR to start the league. Zachary Ricochet gets a start in Atlanta this year, and Colin Sexton, who very well could as well. So that is 100%. Pretty much rounds out the league. We will post the results of obviously every week. So for those of you tuning into the podcast every week, this league is going to be the main league that gets mentioned throughout the week in terms of content and updates and things like that. So not only will we post a full results of the draft, we'll definitely be keeping you up to date on what's happening. And for anybody that is currently in Ball Logic leagues at the moment, specifically if you're in the $100 league, is that you, Matrix, the commissioner of the $100 league? The winner of that league goes and takes us on in the Creator Cup this league next year. Lots of incentive.
Yes, I'm going to have 2 teams next year, which is really exciting for everyone involved. No, it will be selected from the $100 league. Already the chat seems to be going off. Of course, if you're willing to spend $100, the prize pool goes to $1,200. Everybody's really serious about fantasy basketball. It's going to be a great incentive every year, and probably an extra reason to jump in these big insight leagues of ours. So
yeah, absolutely. Let's get Matrix back on the screen. That'll just about do us, guys. If you haven't yet and you made it all the way to the end and you're still watching, we would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up. If you like the draft, you like the content, and you want to keep up with what we're doing, hit that little bell there, gets your notification straight through to your phone every time we do go live throughout the season. And of course, guys, if you're listening to us on audio, Spotify, Apple, wherever it is you get your podcasts, hit that follow button, leave us a 5-star review if you do like the content. Thanks for watching, guys. We will obviously be back over the next coming days. We've got another couple of leagues that we do need to draft. The Ball Logic B League will be drafting Sunday, 8 p.m, so I'll do my best to get on there and do that one live as well for everybody. Matty, you've still got the $100 A League draft coming up as well. I'm assuming you probably do your best to either record that or do that live as well.
Yeah. We're just going through when it's going to be, but it's looking like 9:00 tomorrow night. So might be a little late one tomorrow night, which will be nice. So
yeah, nice. You're a bit of a night owl, so that probably suits you down to the ground. They're already giving you an advantage in this draft without even knowing it. Shock me. That'll do us. We'll wrap this one up.
I'm absolutely peaking already.
The guys at home don't have to put up with him after this finishes either.
Yeah, that's the best part. He has his red wine, and then we can just leave the theatre, and no one knows. We can just leave the studio. He's done. Guys, that's what we'll do right now. Thanks for watching us. We'll be back in the coming days with more content leading up into the season. Catch you then.